news channel after news channel after news channel. Ever wonder why they report the same news? This is Wake Up America.
Brought to you by Citizen Stringer.
The media has become absolute lunacy. What makes us different? We just tell the truth. Daily headlines, politics, social issues, focusing on headlines that the mainstream media ignores. Conservative to the core and honest, sometimes to a fault. Unapologetically American. Welcome to Wake Up America with your host, Stephen Oatley.
What's going on? Let's hope that my audio is working. Try to figure out which button. Nope, we're not there yet. There we are. Sorry, I'm not prepared. I don't know what just happened with the Santilli show. I just saw Pete Santilli completely abruptly end his show, and I don't know why. And I was here, and I was getting ready to record some stuff, and with a new setup over there, but then I didn't have any of the stuff set up, so I was like, I didn't do it yet. And so I decided I'll just go live right now, and I'll talk to all of you. For anyone just tuning in, my name is, hopefully the sound's good. I don't have the chat up. You know what? I should do that so I could see the chat real quick, just to make sure that it sounds okay, because we're using the mic, and I bought some new cables, so hopefully the mic actually sounds better. But this show is brought to you by Get the Tablet to Work. That's who it's brought to you by. Get the Tablet to Work. Anyway, I got to get water now too. I'm on top of it. Don't even have water in here. But the cool thing is I could just walk around. You guys could still hear me. I'm just not on camera anymore. I'm going to drink some Sprite. I ordered a sandwich today. The Sprite is from there. Crazy stuff. It's been a crazy day. Someone said, came on unmuted. I know. So today has been a nutty day when it comes to just how crazy the far right has gotten. Or far left, rather. What was I talking about there? Canada declared a national emergency to deal with the trucker protests out there, which is pretty insane. Here's a little video that I think, if I get this all to work, look at that. Oh, yes. We're all high tech now. I got to figure out how to use all this technology, but it's pretty cool. So listen. All right, so there's something.
Able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be
Well, isn't that special? My microphone died. I thought it was charged. I don't know what happened. Hold on. Hold on. Wait for it. Is this one even charged? Maybe not. Are they all dead? How'd they all die when they've been plugged in? Wait for it. Nope, they're all dead. Well, shit. I don't know what happened and why the sound doesn't work, but you know what? We have a backup plan for everything. Stand by. We're going crazy with this one. Watch this. You guys don't know what's happening yet. How about now? One way or the other, we're going to get it. Now, I believe my microphone sound is on. Yes, it is. I don't know what happened. Both of my wireless mics died. I tell you, I wasn't ready for this, but it's better. That's why people were texting me saying the sound died. And, yeah. You know how it is, man. That's how technology works. Thank you, whoever texted me. I don't know who that was, but Portland area code. Anyway, so I don't even know how long the mic was dead. So I don't even, did you guys even hear? It was weird because people are like, the chat's good. I hear it. I don't know. It's going to be one of those days. Man, I'll be honest with you. Today, I almost didn't do a show because we're working all this stuff about buying a house and mortgages and all this. And, you know, my wife works. She's a teacher, so she works during the day. So I couldn't really do a lot of what I needed to do and talk to her and get the information for financial records and stuff until she got home. And then we're filling out, you know, all this paperwork because if you've ever bought a house, there's a lot of paperwork that's involved. We're filling out all the paperwork right before I had to come in here and start show prep. And I'm like, you know, maybe I should just call it for the day. But I'm not going to. I'm already here. So let's go. I don't have jokes, even though it kind of looks like I'm a stand-up comedian now. No, I'm just kind of funny looking. Anyway, so Canada has declared a national emergency to conquer these truck drivers. Trudeau made the announcement at 4 o'clock Eastern today, and this gives some really, really weird and scary power to the United States government, or to the Canadian government, and companies, and specifically banks and stuff. Listen to what Christina Freeland said. She's the Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Finance. This was heard today.
Their relationships with anyone involved in the illegal blockades and report to the RCMP or CSIS. As of today, a bank or other financial service provider will be able to immediately freeze or suspend an account without a court order. In doing so, they will be protected against civil liability for actions taken in good faith. Federal government institutions will have a new broad authority to share relevant information with banks and other financial service providers to ensure their relationships with anyone involved.
So isn't that nutty? Isn't that nutty? They are so afraid of people speaking out in Canada that they've declared a national emergency with national, like, weird, like, wartime. And from what I understand, this has never been done. Or actually, I take it back. I think martial law was declared when Trudeau's dad was prime minister and people were uprising against him too, it's just insane. It's insane. It's not really that surprising though, really. When you think about it, it's not really. Why did it zoom in on me again? Like on this one? It zoomed in. See that? And I fixed that already, but apparently it reverted back. Really annoying. All this new technology. Someday I'll figure it out, like, you know, to charge my mics and stuff. I should actually be doing that now, but I'm not going to. I'll wait. Figure out what else I was going to talk about because now I don't remember. So yeah, the Canadian federal government, this is an article that comes out, or that came out already. So the Canadian federal government invokes the Emergencies Act for the first time in response to protests and blockades. Insane. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said he's invoking the Emergencies Act for the first time in Canada's history to give the federal government extra powers to handle ongoing blockades and protests regarding the pandemic. insane, saying it's now clear that there's still a serious challenges to law enforcement's ability to effectively enforce the law. Trudeau said the measures will be geographically targeted and reasonable and proportionate to the threats they are meant to address. Now, keep in mind, I know if you've watched mainstream media, you probably think this man who has notoriously worn blackface, that fella, you would think that these protests are all big racist, shows of idiots. But it turns out if you actually watch any of the protests, even for a slight minute, you're going to know that that's patently false. The people that are protesting are just regular, everyday citizens. They're dancing in the streets, listening to music. And basically, when they do speak about mandates and things, they're just saying they don't believe that mandates should be imposed on anybody else. Now, I know a lot of people are very critical of the blockades, and I am one of those people. I don't think it's good. But at what point do you say, hey, enough is enough? Like, we got to stop this kind of crazy stuff that's going on in this country and in that country and around the world. That's why this idea of the trucker protests have taken off so well. And so many people are interested in these trucker protests is because simply put, people are tired. People are tired of being told they can and can't do things or because they are or aren't vaccinated. There's all sorts of... And here's the funny thing is now a lot of these states, like D.C., is getting rid of their mask mandate or, the vaccine mandates and the passport systems. Like a lot of other cities and states across the United States, masks are going out the window because now, science is proving what we've all been saying for months and months and months or years now. But it doesn't matter. We're never going to get the actual people that are behind it, like this guy that loves to wear blackface. I'll keep saying that all the time because he does. We're not going to hold the actual people accountable that are doing all these things to our countries. No, what we're going to do is just keep inferring that it's somebody else's responsibility and someone else is to blame. We've heard them, call what's going on in Canada Trumpism and saying that they're all far right and far left. There's too much divisiveness between far left and far right. Frankly, I don't even care to listen to it, nor do I care to talk about it anymore because, it's all garbage and who cares? But you know what? It is news and it's something that has to be covered. Here's a good perspective to look at it. If you pay attention to the Super Bowl last night, right? So I watched the Super Bowl and I actually wrote a segment earlier today about the Super Bowl and recorded it, and I'm not going to play it because, it doesn't matter. Because I'm going to talk about it live instead because this isn't recorded like I wanted it to be. But that's okay. Let me get rid of this background so we don't have to look at that bonehead anymore. But one of the things that's interesting, I watched the Super Bowl last night. Now, mind you, I didn't see a lot of the same things that seemingly pissed off every other conservative out there. Maybe it's because I wasn't looking. I knew that I wouldn't find any enjoyment in the game at all, so I actually bet on the game, and I bet on the Bengals winning by the spread. So, yes, I did win money, which was great, even though the Bengals lost. But, again, didn't care whether they won or lost. The one thing I wanted to just watch, and I wanted to hang out with my family. Everyone was watching it, and I wanted to at least be a little bit interested in the game that I used to love that's been ruined by wokeness and all corporations and all that same crap that goes on. Now, it's pretty funny because I missed the Black National Anthem because, again, if you were unaware, the United States now has two national anthems. Even though people maintain that we're racist all the time, we have a national anthem right now just for black people. And they sang it last night at the Super Bowl. Can you imagine that? An Asian national anthem? How come we're not doing that? Asian American national anthem, Mexican American national anthem, Pacific Islander national, white. Oh my gosh, white. But no, it doesn't matter. But we have a black national anthem that was sang yesterday, and I missed that. Didn't even pay attention to it. I didn't really pay attention to most of the game, or I paid attention to the game and not anything else, really. I tried to watch some of the commercials. There weren't any good ones. The one that really stuck out to me was the Facebook commercial about their Oculus, right? And my wife and I, we both were watching it, and when the Oculus commercial was done, I was like, holy shit, is that what they want? If you feel so isolated, remember it was about a restaurant that shut down in the 60s or something, an old restaurant that went out of place, and it was that big stuffed dog, and how he kept going and doing other things, but he never really felt like he was himself or could be himself until he actually went and put on an Oculus, and then he could live vicariously in the VR world, blah, 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 and be back at the original place. It was a really stupid idea, but when you actually think about it, it made me realize that is where we're going as a country, or as a world, as an existence, as a human race, as whatever, is where if you feel uncomfortable with who you are, the way God made you, if you feel uncomfortable with that, you can just simply decide, hey, I'm just going to put on this Oculus, or change my pronouns, or wear a dress, or not wear a dress, or dressed as a furry. There's all different things. But you no longer have to be accountable for who you are because, well, you simply can change that. And that is what the video games are showing now. Is that now you could just put on a mask and live out another life. And granted, they've been doing this forever. But I don't recall ever seeing commercials that are targeted towards that. Because that's what I thought yesterday. I'm like, this is bad. This is going to be all the kids that go to school and really should be spending more time trying to assimilate and trying to get used to school and doing all that. And instead, now all they have to do is go on their Oculus and they could be whoever they want, whatever they want. Instead of having to face reality and face the troubles and the tribulations that everybody has to face as everyday Americans, or just people in general. It doesn't even matter about being an American, Republican, Democrat. None of that matters. We are ruining ourselves as a people. We're just ruining ourselves every single day. The more and more people talk and the more people get crazy about certain things, we are just truly ruining ourselves. And I was watching that Facebook commercial yesterday, and I'm like, damn, like what, where are we going as a people? Where I don't even know where I'm going with this conversation, because it's so mind-bogglingly stupid. You know? But anyway, back to football. So I was watching football, Super Bowl halftime came up, and I'll be honest, again, maybe I was just looking with blinders. I didn't care to see any of this woke shit that people kept saying was going on, and how everybody was being woke and all that. I know Dr. Dre said he still doesn't trust police. I know Eminem took a knee, and it was apparently for calling Kaepernick and all that stuff. Hold on one second. Hey, I can't. Are you around in like an hour? Okay, I'll call. Yeah, I was just calling to say I submitted I sent you what Capital One sent. Okay, yeah, but I can't really talk right now. As I said, I do media, and I'm actually live to quite a lot of people. But okay, all right, bye. Anywho, I know it's extremely unprofessional to answer a phone live, but I have to because, well, I'm buying a house. Anyway, so, yeah, where were we? Super Bowl. Bullshit. Halftime show. I'll be honest, I was a little amused by the halftime show. It was all songs I knew. So loosely know. I mean, I couldn't tell you what any of the songs were now, but I know, like, as I was listening, I was like, this isn't that bad. Could have been, because when those songs came out, I was, what, like 15? That was 20 plus years ago. I didn't think anything bad about it. But then I jump on Twitter, and granted, Eminem took a knee for Tupac, or he took a knee for Kaepernick. It depends who you're, like, people in the chat were saying it was for Tupac. I don't know who it was for, nor do I care. I really thought, and this is what I said in my earlier recording, I really thought he took a knee because he simply wanted to just pay the fact that he was performing at the Super Bowl was overwhelming, and he took a knee and he was like, holy shit, I'm here. Everybody was like, woke this, oh, so woke, oh gosh, woke. And I was, I posted on Facebook, I posted on Twitter last night a poll, and I said, I asking what people thought about the Super Bowl. Like, did you think it was good, or did you think it was bad? Like, what do you think? And about 41% of people said that they liked the Super Bowl, and 59% said no, it sucked. And I read the comments, and a lot of people were talking about how woke it was, and whoa, what? Because it had chubby girls dancing? If you really want to talk about what was weird about the halftime show, how about the fact that that 50 Cent came down looking like a bat, chubby bat, off of the railings, upside down. He's rapping upside down. I don't even know what that was supposed to symbolize. That he's coming off the roof? Or that he was hiding, that you couldn't see him, and all 350 pounds of him hiding up there before he comes down and he starts rapping upside down like Spider-Man? I don't know. I thought that was a weirder thing. I thought that should have garnished more attention. But I don't understand this argument where you got to call everything woke, or you got to call it this, or you got to call it that, or you got to do this with something. Haven't we learned enough that nothing we say or do is actually going to affect any change unless we actually go out there and do something? I mean, look at the trucker convoy again. A lot of these mandates, and granted, we could attribute them to science and all the same stuff they're doing. I'm going to attribute them to the trucking groups and the protests that took place across Canada over the past 2 weeks, and say that's why all these mandates are being lifted. It could have just been time, and they could have realized that the majority of the voters in the United States specifically are pissed off and are tired of these mandates, and they realize that if they want any chance, of victory in any election races in 2022, they're going to have to get rid of all these mandates and masks and vaccine passports and all that shit, which is what they started to do. But I'm going to instead say it has nothing to do with the election, and it's purely because the truckers were protesting, and the truckers are planning protests here in the United States in March, even though CNN says it's fake. No one's really talking about that anywhere. I think we spend so much time trying to be divisive that we forget what's important. To me, I didn't pay attention to the wokeness of any part of it. I'll be honest. We missed the Black National Anthem. That would have set me off from the very beginning. Not because I think that there shouldn't be two. Well, yeah, there should not. It's a national anthem. You only have one. You don't have two. You don't have three. You don't have four. You only have one. It's a national anthem. It's not the national anthems. And maybe other countries do that, but we don't. Not here. So yes, it pisses me off when people do that. But the better part of it, I didn't see any of that, so it didn't affect me. The only thing that affected me was watching the football game, seeing excitement in my son's face as he's watching the football game, and every now and then, and coming this close to winning a five bet parlay. I mean, if Burrows, if he was able to rush 9 more yards, I would have made a shit ton of money, but he didn't, so I didn't. I just won on the straight up bet. Someone said, how about the dancers dressed up like inmates? They weren't. They were dressed up how you dress up in Southern California. But I don't care. I don't look for the woke stuff anymore. I really don't. I couldn't give two shits about it. To be completely honest, I really couldn't. If someone wants to be vaccinated, someone doesn't want to be vaccinated. Someone wants to be stupid in school, someone doesn't want to. People want to dress as chicks when they're not. I don't really care. As long as you stay the fuck away from me and my family and all that stuff, do you. And I've always felt that way. I've never felt any different about it. But I guess for a while I was so worried that was actually, because here's the thing, it's not going to affect me at all. It really isn't. If they teach stupid shit at school, you know how it affects me? I pull my kids out. You know what I mean? And we don't have the resource. I'm not a super wealthy person. I mean, every single month I sit here and be like, whoa, why am I even doing this? I could go do a regular job and make more money and be less busy. But where I'm not super wealthy or anything like that. I just work my ass off. And I think for me personally, I've spent so much time catering to the ways other people want me to be and forgetting, hey, I can literally control that. For now, granted, they may take away that right, but right now I control what I do. I'm not vaccinated because I don't want to. If a business wants me to wear a mask and I don't feel like it, guess what? I don't go to that business. If a store doesn't represent the values that I like or that I care for, I don't patronize that store. I don't need to go and talk about canceling people all the time and doing all this. It doesn't benefit me. It doesn't do anything. And it's not in truly me saying something about, if you take away the fact that I have a social media presence, if you take away that, just me saying, I'm not going to go buy Oreos, and I did that for a long time. Oreos, I love fucking Oreos. I don't eat them anymore. They literally taste bad. And that is because so many times I'm like, I can't eat Oreos because of their politics and because they donated to BLM. And so many different things like that. You think about how many times we've, just as on the people on the right have criticized people on the left for canceling things when we literally go and try to cancel our own. And we do. And nobody could say that we don't. I've done it. And Oreos is a perfect example. Say I'm not going to buy Oreos. The GoFundMe shit. Saying, I'm not going to use GoFundMe anymore. I'm not going to support anybody on GoFundMe. That's false. You know why? Because I have an uncle, or an extended uncle that died. The family set up a GoFundMe. I donated $500 so they could bury their dad because they didn't have the resources to do it themselves. And that was after I said I'm not using GoFundMe. You know why? Because that is the platform they chose. I'm not going to not, contribute to them because I have some... We spend so much time trying to fight with each other, just as people. God, and I sound like a hippie too. But we do. We spend so much time fighting with people and trying to divide each other that's literally what is happening to our country. That is why this is happening. Because the left attacks the right and the right attacks back and defends himself but goes on the offensive. And then the left does it back and we go back and forth. Look at the news. Pay attention to the news. Watch the news on Monday. CNN is going to be ripping into Fox News. Tuesday, Fox News rips into CNN. Wednesday, CNN rips into Fox News. Thursday, Fox News rips into CNN. That's just how it's going. I mean, if you listen to the news on Sunday, that's what it was. It was the news taking shots at each other, talking about their coverage and how it's shitty. You know what? Every mainstream media has shitty coverage right now because it's full of bias and opinion. Some of it, right, that I align with, others not. But it's not news anymore. It's not actual information. It's just opinion. We spend so much time, Someone said, I'll give money to people directly instead of GoFundMe. But here's the thing. You don't have time. Like in this case, the mom is in the ICU with COVID and the dad died on the way to had a massive heart attack on the way to visit the mom, and the kids are sat there dealing with their life. I'm not going to call them and be like, hey, listen, I know you're trying to bury your dad, but I got a personal vendetta against GoFundMe, so you need to stop caring for your mom and your siblings and all that stuff, and instead go accommodate me because I am so self-absorbed that I'm not going to donate to GoFundMe. You understand how that's just bullshit and stupid? And I'll be honest, I didn't even catch that. I didn't even catch that until I saw, okay, well, here's someone that actually needs this support. Someone that, I'm a blood relative of. Granted, I haven't talked or seen them, in dozens of years. But I have the resources to be able to, throw $500 to help them bury their dad because they don't have it. It's just weird, man. It's just weird. And everyone talks about, I don't use PayPal because PayPal censors conservative, so I'm going to use Venmo. Venmo's owned by PayPal. Use your head. And then, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to use credit card processors because of this, or I'm not going to use this app because they censor, or I'm not going to do this because this. Why don't you just not do things because of what you want to do and who you want to be? Because do you understand that canceling and saying and doing all that stuff, and I know Donald Trump has said everyone needs to boycott DirecTV or AT&T, whoever the fuck it is, because of what they're doing to OAN News. I get that. And here's the thing, you could say that, but to criticize other people for their decision to say, well, fuck it, yeah, it sucks. And to be honest, I never watched OAN. But to say, it sucks that they didn't they didn't renew their contract. And here's the thing about contracts, okay? I've got a contract with one of our sponsors. Even though the sponsor backs me 100%, there's recently been an attempt to have our sponsorship with Spartan Armor canceled because of things that I've said during my shows. And they've gone out and said, I hope you enjoy it. Here's the beauty of contracts, right? I have a contract. So the contract has to be fulfilled, and especially because they know what I do and I know what I do and the way we do our contracts and everything. If they wanted to cancel their contract with me, there's still, a time that they would have to pay. Now, here's the other side of it. If I cancel, or if the contract comes up for renewal and they decide not to go for whatever reason, then that's their right. I don't have a right to say, oh, you know what? Well, 6 months ago, someone tried to get me canceled. You didn't renew the contract, so that's it. We don't know what OAN's viewership was. There's so much other information that we don't know. And if they were canceled for their politics, then they were canceled for their politics. Who cares? Watch a different channel. Go support a different provider. But we spend so much time trying to control what other people do. And here's the beauty part. I'm just ranting, guys, and I'm not really paying attention to the chat, so you may be arguing with me, and that's cool. I don't care. But here's the other thing. Because everyone always says, the unvaccinated, anti-vaxxer and all that stuff. And we've been saying it for a long time. There is no anti-vaxxers. People are advocating and trying to educate people on what they believe in the vaccinations or something. And there's no difference from a doctor saying a vaccine is safe or isn't safe versus the person that says the other thing. Because how many times have we seen the leader in chief talk about how safe vaccines are? when you have another doctor who actually practices medicine says otherwise. Those are the type of things that, and the reason why they deliver that information is because they leave it up to you to make up your own mind. I've listened to the people that I choose to listen to and the people I care about that help me come to that decision for myself to decide whether or not I want to be vaccinated. My wife, on the other hand, listens to the people she listens to and came to the decision that she wanted to be vaccinated. She's not any less than I am, and I'm not any more, it doesn't mean one is smarter than the other or anything like that. It means that she was an adult and got to make up her own mind, and I was an adult and got to make up my own mind. And I understand if you try to remove that ability for someone to make up their own mind, that's what the protests are about. They're not about the fact that people don't want you getting, and granted, there are some nutbags out there that believe it's, you get the vaccine, you're going to pop out some alien babies in a couple of months. I understand there's nutbags out there that believe that kind of stuff. But the fact of the matter is, people just don't want to be told what they have to do. And it's been a pattern in human civilization since forever. There's always going to be a group of people that doesn't want to go with what you define as normal, especially if it's not normal. And so many people go out and talk about anti-vaxxers. You literally have people talking about killing people that want to be unvaccinated. Killing. You had politicians, aspiring politicians in California saying, kill them. You had someone the other day that was talking about running them over, running these trucker protests. Matter of fact, you had a guy that ran over truckers, ran over protesters in Ottawa, trying to kill them because of what they were protesting for. They weren't protesting to say that if you got vaccinated, you're less than. No, they were protesting to say if you don't want to get vaccinated, we got your back. That's what they were doing. They weren't criticizing, and they weren't criticizing people for wearing masks. And then going back to the hypocrite stuff, we all want the right to not wear masks in public. At least the people that don't want to wear masks want that right to not wear masks. And yet we jump on every single celebrity, every single and I get it if, Scorsese or whatever the hell his name is, the mayor of Los Angeles, if he's going back out and imposing mask mandates on everybody else, and yet he goes out in public and doesn't wear a mask, I understand that. But last night the news and social media was ablaze. Emmett Smith doesn't have a mask on. My God, Mark Wahlberg doesn't have a mask on. Rules for thee, but not for me. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? I certainly don't, and I'm tired of mainstream media reporting it. I'm tired of the Joe Rogan talk and everyone trying to cancel Joe Rogan. Why can't people mind their own damn business? Just in general, in life. Why can't they do it? Why can't we just mind our own business and say, you know what? We can just do what we want when we want to do it. We don't need to listen to Joe Blow A or Joe Blow C. We can just make up our own mind, and then the government or whoever, the overseers, the left, the right, the mainstream media, everyone could just be like, you know what? Man, he exercised that good old thing called freedom. What happened to that? I watched this, this show, the 1883, right? I watched this show the other day on A&E, last night actually. And it's a pretty good show, but I think the season's over or maybe over soon. And I won't do any spoilers, but the young girl that's there, the 18-year-old, the one that narrates the whole thing, she was talking about how she wants to marry an Indian guy, right? And spoiler alert, don't watch this segment because I'm not very good at not talking about what it is I'm trying to talk about, to keep it low-key. Anyway, she wants to marry this Indian dude, right? And the Indian guy comes up and he offers a horse to the father and all that stuff. And the father's like, do you know what you're doing? And she's like, I'm 18. Or no, she's talking to the mom. She's like, I'm 18. And the mom's like, it doesn't matter. You don't know anything. She's like, yeah, but I'm 18. In the eyes of the law, I can make up my own mind. Fast forward to 2022. Shit, you can't even go take a poop in a public restroom unless you're vaccinated, have masks and all that stuff. We need to go back to 1883. When you actually got to do stuff, you got to make up your own mind, where it was actually free. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just frustrating. Someone said, what they say? Someone said something about masking kids. Yeah, see, that's the difference. I control my kids. I make the determination on whether or not my kids are masked in school. I don't care whether Joe Blow's kids are masked. I make up my own mind about my kids. And you know what? I also afford them the right to make up their own mind. My kids didn't want to be masked when they had the decision to do it. And when my kids made the decision in the beginning of the year, we sat down with them and we had a heart-to-heart. And we said, hey, listen, you guys got to wear masks to go to school if you want to go to school. Otherwise, we'll stay home. I'll teach you. You do have to call me Professor Oatley, though. They decided they wanted to go to school. It's not because they were afraid of dad teaching them. No, it's because they wanted to hang out with their friends. Did I think it was wrong? Did it pain me every single time I'd see him and my little, first grader would come out and his mask would be covered and he had snot all over his nose? Fuck yeah, it pissed me off. I wrote letters to the school board. I did what I could. I talked about it a couple of times on the air. But ultimately, that's it. I did what I could and I left the decision up to my kids who were old enough to make up their own mind about it. Other kids don't have that right. And if my kids, there are ways that I would have taken that control away from my kids. So let me be perfectly clear, okay? Both of my kids have asthma. Their asthma has gotten better, but it's still bad, even though they're not wearing masks. We thought that was a major a major part in their asthma, but it turns out they're just severely allergic to our dogs. But here's the thing about this. If we had health implications with my kids, right? So they have asthma. If we knew that the masks were going to make them suffer and really harm them, we would have taken that right away from our kids to make up their own mind. So when people say unmask the kids and all that stuff, I agree. It should be parental choice. My kids right now, you know what they don't do? They don't pick on all the other kids that wear masks at school. And about half our school, it's 50-50. It's not even mandatory anymore, but some kids still want to wear it. Some parents say, no, you got to wear it at school. And they do. All the teachers still got to wear it. But they get to make up their own mind. There's no outrage. People aren't flipping out and doing all that stuff. But that's because we have the right. But even when the kids, and I'll be honest, I don't even know where I was going with that because it does. It pisses me off a lot when kids are wearing masks. When they'd go to school, and the second they get out, and I put the little guy in the car, and I'd say, take that mask off right now. Right now. Because one, it was covered in spit, covered in saliva, and all that shit, and it always pissed me off to see. And secondly, it was covered in shit, and I didn't want to see it. And it pissed me off. It pissed me off to see all the other kids. It pissed me off to see all the yearbooks and stuff that have the pictures of masked kids. Or they'll put a picture with a mask and picture without a mask. But I don't know, man. I believe that people should be able... I believe with a fundamental right that people should be able to make up their own decisions on what they do. Masks, vaccinations, all that stuff. I don't think that any one person should dictate what other people do. And I've said that for a long time. But I think after watching social media today, watching Twitter, dealing with some of the other stuff that I've been dealing with, but taking a break every now and then, my break was to jump on TikTok, or my break was to jump on Twitter or Facebook and pay attention to what people are saying and what people are talking about. Everybody's so self-absorbed. Everybody is so concerned with what everybody else is doing and not focusing on themselves. I don't understand it. I really don't. Is that just human nature? Is that what we've become? We're just going to be a society where we just blame each other for everything else? I don't know. And actually, I do know. Yes, we will. 100%. We will be a society of just fragile human beings unless we actually wake the fuck up and stop doing it. Stop entertaining. Who gives a shit what other people do? Seriously, who cares? If I walked into a business right now and they told me to put on a mask, I'd say, well, I'm not going to shop here. I'm not going to be like, you mother... that's not who I am. That's not what I'm going to do. I don't care. If someone came into my store today, my door was open today, so people came in, and just were trying to talk and see what we're all about, but I was just waiting for UPS, so I was kindly like, get the hell out. One lady came in with a mask. I didn't be like, oh, what are you wearing a mask for? I don't know if she's got health issues or underlying issues. I don't pass judgment. She was probably vaccinated too. She was not in the right place. She walked in and saw the stuff on, that's on the walls up front and was like, no, sorry, it's the wrong store. I was looking for the arts and crafts place. Yeah, it was like, it closed years ago. I don't know. I think we are so hell-bent on destroying each other that we are literally destroying each other. You know? That's what I feel. I just feel like we're so... I don't know. Someone said, Stephen from a trucker's mouth. Live YouTube, he was watching Trudeau speaking live the same thing Trudeau has been saying they will not implement the military. Yeah, I mean, they're not going to implement the military. In fact, Trudeau doesn't even have the power to do that. He would need all the PMs to sign off because that changed in 1980s, I believe. And he would need all the PMs, and all the PMs have already said there's no way in hell they're going to do that. So that's not going to happen. Someone said, if that was true about others' opinions, why do you have chat? To allow other people to have their own opinions. Does that not make sense? If I wanted to be a closed-minded asshole all the time, I'd just shut down the chat. And to be honest, I don't read the chat. I try not to read the chat much. I read it occasionally. But, you know, here's a perfect example. It's because of people that go and try to stir shit up. Look at Santilli. Santilli, you know, granted, a lot of people don't recognize how hard this is and how much money goes into doing all these shows and all this stuff all the time. And granted, I'm doing a lazy-ass show. I'm just monologuing today, pacing back and forth. And I love this, but mind you, with the green screen, just pacing back and forth, because then I could be like, you know what? Speaking of our... sponsors, you know, I could jump over here like this and be like, Spartan Armor Systems, protect what's yours. And seriously, you should check out SpartanArmorSystems.com. Use code YEET because you can't cancel us, Mercado scumbag. Use code YEET and you get 10% off your order. It's a great deal for them, great deal for me. I do not make a commission, okay? And I know we're not supposed to say that. But just in case anyone is curious, when you buy something and you pay 10%, I don't make a commission. I don't get a profit of the sale. No, we are advertising partners, homie. That's why you can't cancel it. Do you understand that? Genius? Anyhow, check them out. SpartanArmorSystems.com. Use code YEET. Gets 10% off your order. Where is this? Look at this one. I love this one. Where is it? I want to get one of these. The Ghost Concealment shirts. Have you guys seen this? I showed it to you the other day. Let me get it to open. This Ghost Concealment shirt. Check this thing out. Badass. What the hell did I do? I don't even know how to use this thing. Look at this. Let me pick it up and get out of the way. If you can't tell, I don't have a display over here. I've got a display over there because of the new setup. I'll kind of give you a glimpse of it. Ghost Concealment shirt provides discreet level 3A protection against handgun threats up to a 44 mag. The concealable body armor package provides front, back, and side protection in a slim profile that is virtually undetectable under a loose shirt or jacket. The package comes with a Ghost Concealment shirt, which comes in small, medium, large, extra large, or XX. 2 10x12 level 3A flex fuse core, and I actually have those because that's what I have in my concealment package. I don't have that slick ass one though. I don't know where it is. It's down there. I'm not getting it. Not right now. But you should check them out. SpartanArmorSystems.com. Use code YEET and you get 10% off your order. Amazing deal. Oh boy. I was ranting. I ranted for a little bit because, like I said, Santilli came on and he was done very quick today. People jumped into his chat, started pushing all his buttons, and this is hard. Doing this stuff every day, I tell you, it's hard. Sometimes it would just be easier to take a couple of weeks off. You know what I mean? And try to just reset. But, we have to. We have to do the shows. We have to do it. But people jumped in Santilli's chat, and I don't know what the hell it was all about, to be honest. But he ended his show soon after. Just lost it. Didn't want to do it anymore because people are just being, a-holes. And Santilli will likely be back tomorrow, I think. I hope. I like his show. But that's the thing. That's why people don't like the chats. That's why a lot of the bigger channels and stuff, they've shut off their chats. They're just like, listen, because the chats are derogatory. You either have trolls that are in there talking about stuff, but why do I keep the chat? Because I want you all to have your own opinion. You know? Someone said, I want to go and support the convoys. I think I can't keep my cool if crazy stuff happens, so I'll send. Someone said, Stephen, you need to get one of those 1970 microphones that was used in the old game shows. The one you're using reminds me of it. Oh, yeah. No, but they also have the big, radio ones. Who has one? One of the talk show hosts has one of those. One of the YouTubers. I looked at one the other day, actually. But, man. Someone said I huffed and he puffed and signed the eviction notice. I don't know what that means. But yeah, that's it. I don't know what else is going on. I don't have the chat. I could show you guys the chat. Maybe I should do that. All right, we'll go to the chat for a second. I'll put the chat up on the screen so you could just see how many people are here chatting. Granted, I can't see shit though, so I got to walk over here. And now I'm off screen. So Flint said, "Come on down." Lucky Louie said he loves the chat. Thank you, Lucky. Satan is your daddy, said Big. Big what? The hell are you talking about, Satan? And look, this is the other set. It's not done yet, so you can't see. But this is the better one because then I can sit here, oh yeah, like that. And I'm going to put all the stuff people have sent me on this shelf right here. All the stuff people have sent me, all the Yeet memorabilia and Wake Up America stuff. And I got to move that, mic arm right there. And then this camera will just have like a logo, and I'll put some lights behind me. And I'll move the camera so it's a little bit closer, a little bit more zoomed in, wide angle, showing everything. And then I could just sit here and do a show. But you may be getting a little audio interference because we have monitors on the main studio board or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, so 2 different sets. So what I want to do is run different, so it breaks up the monotony. I'll start the show here with monologues. I'll go over there and do some news. I'll come back over here and do phone calls or interviews. To change it around. And now I can actually move a little bit in here. I set everything up. Now I have to actually clean everything because it's a disaster. But you know what? Today it was a long day of just filling out arduous paperwork over and over and over. Just tons of it. See, and the thing is, my monitor's here, but the camera's over there, so it's gray. And then I had to wait here because most of the February boxes, there's just 3 back the blue boxes that didn't go out yet. But most of the February boxes all went out today in the coffee. I got to get more coffee because we already sold it. Do the reorders. And then I got to start on the old mega boxes. Those I'll start putting those together by the end of the week. And so they'll ship early next week, middle of next week for the people that ordered those mega boxes. And we'll go from there. It's going to be crazy. But I'll get this all set up. We'll put some lights. It's not too bad. For some reason, it's zoomed in again, and I can't figure out why it's zoomed in on the display, but not on the actual other one. Like if you saw the other one, you could tell, but you see more of the shelf. This one's all zoomed in, which is weird because they're the same input, and I didn't alter the input. And I'll make sure I have the wireless mics all done. And then this computer, or this monitor, I actually have this set up. So when I'm over there, it runs me, so I can see what I'm doing. And then if I'm sitting here, I can run it from the tablet. So I can have like news articles and all that pop up on the screen. I just got to lower it a little bit so it works better. But I'm trying to get more comfortable, trying to do a show, more of one that I like, and one that I'm comfortable with. So, and you guys are going to be the guinea pigs for the next week or 2. While I try to get it figured out. I did want to do some recording and not put out as many live videos to try to segment some of the shows and try to monetize on social media. But then I decided again, I don't really care about that. 1, it takes a lot more time. And secondly, I don't want to help Facebook make money. I don't want to help YouTube make more money. I want to help me. I want to help Citizen Stringer and all the people that are invested in this company to do it. And that's why all last week I did the split shows. I do a little bit on social media, and then I jump over and do the rest on Citizen Stringer TV. That's pretty much what I'm going to do. Or I may do a show on Citizen Stringer TV and then release it the next day on social media. And you'll never really know unless you actually follow it. Your best bet to do, because we're getting the notifications figured out on Citizen Stringer, is simply to go to citizenstringer.tv and sign up for a membership there. It's $12 a month. Think about that. What's that? That's it's less than a pack of cigarettes in New York. $12 a month. It's less than a mocha frappuccino. What is it? What do I get from? I haven't bought Starbucks or any other coffee in so long. I used to get a mocha frappuccino. No, cafe mocha with 3 shots. I think it was about $12 too, to be honest. It's good. But yeah, man, we're doing a lot, trying to get more comfortable in just what we do and just have a better show for all of you guys. So I appreciate you, appreciate all of them. The only problem that I'm not set up to do is I can't switch anything. So when I get up, you're just going to be looking at, below my face because the camera's there and, I wasn't thinking it through. But it is what it is. You guys could just deal with it. And there's the chat again. What's the chat say? It says, who cares? I can't see it. But I tell you what, I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like, if you couldn't tell, I just sat down for a second, and I got so freaking tired the moment I sat down. Like I did. I sat down, and I was like, I'm done. So I'm done. Someone said I only do keto coffee. I don't know what that means. If you talk about, you wonder why we keep our chat open. If you talk shit about, if you talk about any other coffee other than Pure Truth coffee, you shouldn't be in here. But yeah, just saying. Steve, be prepared to stream all night the U.S. trucker protest. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that. We don't do that protest coverage during the week at all. It doesn't matter if it's a trucker protest or not. We won't. I'll go out when the protest comes here, but they're not doing what they're doing in Ottawa or any of the border crossings where they're just stopping and blocking roadways. There's no intentions of doing that in the United States. No intention whatsoever. The only intention of what they want to do, based on what I understand, is that they're going to do a slow roll. And it's going to inconvenience some people. But from what I understand, and granted, a lot of the leaders of this U.S. trucking protest are not the same people that were initially the ones to put it all together. And that could be the problem. Someone said this convoy is an opportunity for us to unite everyone to support this movement. Yes. But here's the thing. If people want 24-hour coverage, go there. Don't just live vicariously through the people that are streaming all the time. And I'll be honest, the reason, that's not why I'm not covering it. It's because I don't want to. I don't want to cover shit for 8-10 hours like I used to. I don't want to. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap super early for today because, well, I can't. I started early, and I think I'm going to wrap early. Tomorrow, we're going to have a bunch of congressional hearings. There's a bunch of them. I don't think there are any good ones, but we're going to have a bunch of congressional hearings that will be airing on citizenstringer.tv. So make sure you're over there during the day. There's always people in the live chat. It's pretty good. But Steve Bro is the best Steve. Yeah. Great value coffee. Oh, mind you, by the way, as soon as the new bags come in, my coffee, I said it the other day, kind of tried to get your input on whether you thought I should do it or not. And then I didn't hear, I don't even think I actually paid attention to the chat when I did it. But I'm making all of our coffee. They're going to come in 1 pound bags. Not yet. You'll see it when the price goes up a little bit. So instead of $14 or $15.99, we're just going to have a flat rate, $17.99 for a pound of coffee. And because one will be easier for me to package it all, and two, it's a better rate. It's a better rate for you guys. You'll get more coffee for a little bit less than you would have if you ordered. You know what I'm saying. Someone said BC Preacher. Yeah, he was out yesterday in DC. Or no, in Los Angeles, covering the riot because, of course, just like any other big sporting event, they rioted afterwards. Looted and shit like that. Someone said, much rather have a whole pound. Yeah, and the reason why we did that is I actually took a 5 pound bag and I brought it home with us, and it's lasted so much longer than, the little 12 ounce ones that we typically even bought before I started the coffee company. And then I decided, 5 pounds would be easier. It's better because the type of bags, like if you've noticed a French roast, or pardon my French blend, that bag, I have to put those in different bags because it's not as dense as some of the other coffee for some reason. So the bags that I bought for like the Wake Up America, the Awake Not Woke, the French Vanilla, I can't use that for the French roast. Even for the beans, can't do it. Doesn't work. Also, for all you guys that love the Wake Up America breakfast blend, but you've just been wishing that it comes in whole bean, I am going to have approximately 6 bags of whole bean, probably tomorrow or Wednesday. I will announce it, and then they will go. And I'll probably never get them again. Not that they're bad, but they're good. I just don't like that. Someone said, for $18 a pound, that coffee better make you poop gold. Oh, hey, y'all, it's me on Facebook. Estapo got me. Yeah, oh, it does. $16 a pound. You know what? It's not. It ain't Folgers or Maxwell House. It's good coffee, specialty coffee. And to be honest, every single time you buy a bag of coffee, guess who you're supporting? This guy and several other people behind the scenes. But most importantly, it's an easy way to support the show. It's less than sending a $20 super chat. It's beauty. It's a beauty. It's a beautiful. Anyway, guys, I'm fucking over this today. I'm over it. So I'll see you tomorrow. I'll be cutting in and out of our coverage tomorrow for the most part. We have the hearings are pretty boring, to be completely honest, tomorrow. But I'm going to cover them for you. We'll go from there, and then I'll have a show tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, I'm going to be working on this patch wall that we're going to build in the front. I'm going to get someone to come and tint the front windows so people can't see in, but I could see out during the day. And then I'm going to kind of make this more of like a clubhouse, so to speak. You know, with the different studio rooms and all that stuff. I may build another podcast studio in the back. And then the front's going to be for the shirts and doing all that stuff. Anyway, I appreciate you guys all being here. I'm going to go home. What time is it? It's 8 o'clock, almost. 7:48. Holy shit, it's early. But I'm going to go home, hang out with my wife and kids. I had a lot of fun with them this weekend. I didn't work, didn't go live, didn't do anything. Saturday, we went to dinner, and my wife and I decided that the great idea would be to drink Long Islands all night long. And it was great. And I wish we could do that every day because I got to hang out with my wife and my kids. And I also got trashed. My stomach still hasn't recovered from the Long Islands. Plus, we were putting them in those big-ass, what do you call them, the tumblers? Yeah, so I think I had 3 or 4 of them. I was trashed. I should have went live just so you guys could have seen good old drunk Steve. It's pretty amazing. But anyway, I'm going to go. See you later. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Where's the outro? Right there.
You've been listening to Wake Up
And then
America,
the mic. You hear the mic
Stephen
drop. Watch this
Oatley,
shit.
Unapologetically American and unapologetically honest. Join us each night at 8 p.m. for more daily headlines, politics, and social issues, covering the headlines that mainstream media ignores. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review the show. See more on the website at citizenstringer.com. And we'll see you tomorrow on Wake Up America.